Okay, so we're going to go through your study guide for your coordinate geometry test. So looking at number 1, we're finding the measure of angle FGH. So I like to highlight that angle, FGH. That angle's smaller than 90, so my answer should be smaller than 90. All right, now I see I have a straight line. Okay, and we know straight line equals 180 degrees. So these two angles will add up to 180. So I write my equation here, okay? And the next step, I will need to solve my equation. So what's on the left of my equation, I'll put in y1, and what's on the right of my equation, I'll put in y2. All right, so when we start using our calculator, make sure that you set your window. All right, add 2 zeros to each end of the tens. And then set your mode 2 degrees. Then we're going to go to y equals. And we're going to go ahead and type in the left side of the equation. We're going to do 10x minus 10 plus 5x plus 10. And then we're going to go to y2, and we're going to put 180 in y2. Then we'll hit second, trace 5, wait, and then hit enter, write, enter, enter. So x is 12, so I'm going to write that down. X is equal to 12. All right. Now, since they want the measure of angle FGH, I'm going to go back to FGH, all right, to 5x plus 10. All right, and plug my 12 in. Now, all I have to do from this part of the calculator is second quit, okay, and then simply type in 5x plus 10. Hit enter. So my answer is 70 degrees, which is smaller than 90 like we guessed. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, now I'm looking at number 2 and I'm seeing that these two angles are vertical. Vertical angles are angles that are across from each other, so they're going to be equal. So to write our equation, we're going to write 4x plus 24 equals 5x. Okay? Now the question just says find the value of x. Okay? So we're not going to have to do anything extra at the end when we solve in y equals. Alright, we're going to simply go there and figure out what x equals. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead back to y equals, do 4x plus 24 in y1, and then in y2, clear 5x. Then I'm going to do second trace 5, wait, hit enter, write, enter, enter. 24. So x is 24, and that's my answer. All right. Next, number 3, find the measure of angle DBC. So again, DBC is an angle. We're going to highlight DBC. That's 8x minus 15. All right, again, I have a straight line, and I have 2 angles on a straight line. I know they add up to 180. So I'm going to write my equation saying 5x plus 65 plus 8x minus 15 equals 180. Then I'm going to go ahead and get ready to solve this. Solve for x in my calculator. Plug the left side in y1. Plug the right side in y2. So 5x plus 65 plus 8x minus 15 in y1 and 180 in y2. Second, trace 5, wait, enter, write, enter, enter. X is 10. Okay, so go back to my question. I'm going to write that down. X is equal to 10. and then look back to what I'm supposed to answer. I'm supposed to find the measure of angle DBC. Alright, so I got to plug x into this value. So again, you can just go back to your calculator, second quit, and then just type in 8x subtract 15. Hit enter. 65. So that angle is 65 degrees. That seems reasonable. It's smaller than 90. So I feel good. Now, the next question, number 4. We're on the graph now. It says JK has a midpoint at C. So this is my midpoint. Alright. Then we're given the other point J. And then it says, what are the coordinates of K? So I'm looking for this other endpoint K right here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and graph my points. 3, 6. And I'm going to graph -1, 2. Alright, so -1, 2, that's my midpoint. So I'm just going to put M right there because that stands for my middle. I'm also going to take my highlighter and just place a little bit of color there to show that that's my middle because I want to count in the correct direction. From my endpoint to my middle to my other endpoint. Okay? So go ahead and start from this top point right here. This is one of the endpoints. We're going to go ahead and start counting the vertical distance down and then the horizontal distance over. So that looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. That was really sloppy. Alright, so that was 4. Alright, then we're going to go and count our horizontal distance. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so all I have to do is repeat that pattern going down this way. I'm going to count down 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's my other endpoint right here. Okay? So the other endpoint is at -5, -2. So my answer is D. Next. Given M is the midpoint of A and B, what are the coordinates of M? Okay, so this is just asking for M, the coordinates of the midpoint. So we're going to count, we're going to plot our points, our endpoints, 3, 3, and -5, -1. These are endpoints of a segment, so I'm going to connect them with a straight line. Okay, and our goal is to find the midpoint, the point in between. So I'm going to count my, I'm going to go ahead and count my vertical distance. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that goes up 4. And then we're going to go count our horizontal distance. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, 8. So since midpoint is halfway, I'm going to divide these by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. And 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, so now I'm going to recount halfway. So I'm going to count up 2, 1, 2, and then over to the right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's my midpoint. So the coordinates of that point are -1, +1. So my answer is D. Number 6. AB is a line segment with endpoints A and B. What is the length of AB? Okay, so length is the same as distance, and we're going to use the distance formula, which is the Pythagorean theorem. All right, we're going to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I'm going to write that down. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay. Go ahead and plot my points. -6, 5, and 2, 1. Then I'm going to draw my line from point to point. Okay, so here's segment AB. Okay, from here, I'm going to go ahead and set up my problem. I need to draw a right triangle. So I'm going to start at one point and draw straight until I get in line with my other point. All right, and then I'm going to draw a straight line to that point, and it creates a right triangle. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and count the leg lengths. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. The side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so my leg lengths are 4 and 8, and that's what A and B will be. Now C is the hypotenuse, okay? So I'm solving for the hypotenuse, okay? So I'll have to plug in X for C. So I'm going to go ahead and write my equation. So it's going to be 4 squared, oops, let's fix that. 4 squared plus 8 squared equals X squared. All right, now I'm going to solve this equation in my calculator. What's on the left goes in y1. What's on the right goes in y2. Okay. Y equals. So I'm going to do 4 squared plus 8 squared. Okay, in y1, and then go down to y2, and I'm going to put x squared. Then I'm going to hit second, trace, 5, enter, right, enter, enter. X is 8.94. And that's it, 8.94. We'll do one more. 2 points, L and M, are plotted on the grid below. Find the distance between L and M. Alright, so when it just says find LM, it just wants you to find the distance between L and M. Okay, so they're already plotted, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a straight line. Connect L and M. Then I'm going to go ahead, since I'm going for length, finding length, I'm going to go ahead and write down my formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay. Alright, so that means I need to draw a triangle. Okay, so I'm going to draw straight line over, and then a straight line up. Now you can draw it this way too. You can draw a straight line up and over. Same difference. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and count 1, 2, 3. I count 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to write 3 squared plus 3 squared equals x squared. Okay, so I'm going to go to my calculator. Alright, go to y equals. We're going to plug in the left side in y1. So I'm just going to switch out the 4 for the 3 and the 8 for the 3. That was pretty easy. So 3 squared plus 3 squared equals x squared. I'm going to hit second, trace, 5. Enter, right, enter, enter. Looks like 4.24. So LM equals 4.24. Cool. Alright, we'll continue this in the next video.